Good morning from Yammy B TV. Wishing you all well today. Hoping your weekend's going to be the best it possibly can. And you guessed it, I'm traveling again today. Feel energetic though. It feels like it's light work until you get down the other end and then you start feeling it. But every single new place that I go to brings new experiences for me. So I've kind of been enjoying it, if you get what I mean. Yeah, some great questions coming in, and ask, and I'll always do the best I can to answer. Somebody was asking me what was it like going to visit somebody in prison after being there myself. Well, I could honestly tell you, it's a bundle of nerves and trouble for the soul. The old one back in the day, they used to say, don't visit anywhere because you might end up there. Well, it happened to me once, and it was Whitemore. I went to see someone twice up there, and within months, I was sitting in there as well. But, the feelings of going inside a prison, the reminders, of how you felt, because I found that when I used to get released from prison, I used to almost forget all the years I was away straight away. But then once you go back there to visit, that sense of how it really felt like behind the door come back to you. So therefore, I used to get quite fearful and scared, and even worse than that, I'm visiting a couple of geezers a couple of times, and bringing a parcel like of contraband or something like that, of that nature, to bring inside there, when the chances can be quite high of you getting arrested as well. So the nerves will be jangling then, because you've not only got to pass security as you go in, but you've then got to go and get it to the person on the visiting table. So you're going to be apprehensive, anxious. You could play it as cool as you want, but once you're in that prison surrounding or environment, there's not really many places to run to in there, like you were living in there, because you're closed in. But yeah, there's so many different feelings as well. Like my stomach used to go while I used to wait for my name to be called, and the other person, if you can't bring them anything, they might be disappointed that you didn't have the bottle or the courage to bring them something up. So in our mottos, a lot of us really, it was always a case of you can't really go up to prison unless you're bringing the person something. But there has been occasions that you go up there to see someone for different reasons, family reasons, but the same deep sense of foreboding of going into them places, having been there yourself, can leave you quite, fearful. Then the reality hits home that you're committing crime outside. You be careful, because this is what you're going to face. Did that work for me? No, it didn't. So I still ended up going back there. But nah, it's a horrible environment. It's very it's a good. Another good question, Steve Walker, is that some people you meet in there, they say, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I'll be up to see ya." Yeah, yeah, because they know you ain't getting visits or whatever. And a lot say they're gonna come up and see ya when they leave prison. Like we're talking about when we're making friends, new friends in prison, and a lot don't. Some get out, send you a couple of quid, and some do come up, and it really is kind of like surreal, because you don't, well, I never used to expect it, but when it happens, it's quite a big thing for somebody that you've just met to come and look for you and brighten up your day a little bit, especially when they know that you're not really getting much visitors from the outside world. And some are really really nice, to the fact that they may want you to feel that kind of feeling that you're wanted a little bit, and there are people out there that care about you, kind of thing. I went loads of years without seeing anyone, but anyone that does come up, it's really really a bonus, because a lot don't. You see, the other thing as well I was thinking about, what's his name? Yeah, they were asking about the cages in Wakefield. I can't really answer that because I haven't been to Wakefield. No, sorry about that. But maybe I can think about the cages in Whitemore, maybe, and Parker. So I'll get back to you on that one as well. Another great question as well, about the guilty feet have no rhythm, you see, because a lot of the times along the years, especially when you're doing wrong, I know, because the same thing that you do, like I'm all right. Sorry. You see, when you're guilty, you always have to look over your shoulder. So in recent times, we know that I don't commit crime no more. And I remember in the old days when I used to be, one man crime spree. Fair to say, sad to say too. And you smoke those drugs and you start hearing voices. I remember I always used to hear the sirens because I used to know that I'd left things behind. So there was never no rest for me, doing it, getting the spoils afterwards, and then reliving it, and then getting panicky and having panic attacks whilst under the influence. That, oh no, they're coming. One time I was somewhere expecting them to come. You think because you're paranoid because of the gear that you're smoking, and you're thinking, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not. You always think that, and then one day the door came in. So yeah, right to be really um, paranoid. But isn't it interesting though? And I'll speak for myself a bit more because to be cornered and swarmed over and made to feel, weaker and vulnerable, and that your time's coming to an end out there for all the bad things that you've done and all that. It's not a nice feeling, so you could squirm as much as you want. The same way you made people squirm is the same way that you too will feel the same feeling of squirming, because when you're guilty, it shows quite clearly, by your behavior, because you're always constantly trying to cover up the tracks this way, that way, and all, when in that time you're actually making more mistakes. But yep, the guilty feet have got no rhythm and there's no place to hide. But this is just a quick one. I'm getting on a train soon. I'm going to do another video after for you as well. Sending loads of love to you and thank you for everything. Okay.